Has my hair combed and...
You look great, Rick. Beautimous. So we're looking to see what the stroke is on this engine. We think it's a what?
We're hoping it's a 82.
An 82 millimeter stroke with some 90.5 pistons. So that gives us a...
That will give us a 2110.
I might pop wheelies if I had something like that.
You might get spoiled rotten is what might happen.
Hey drivers, I am in South Florida in an extremely hot August day, en route to go see Rick Higgins from Bug Me Video fame. We're gonna do a little picking and learn a lot of cool stuff. Come along with us. It is hot here in August in sunny Florida, but we're getting some stuff loaded up. I got my buddy Lance with me that's helping me out with the process. Rick's going to be with us in just a minute, but for now we're going to go through and take a look at some of the parts that we're picking. We have some engine cores here. Some of this I don't think is really going to go anywhere, but some of it might be some rusty gold, and of course that's what we like, particularly with the Hard Times engine build. So we'll see what we can do with this. Equalize out there, we'll recognize that's the remnants of a Type 4 case there, so that'll be fun to explore. This engine core comes with a dual Weber on there, I think. Never played with one of those before. Let's go inside and take a look at some more stuff. This one is a 2110 that got a little bit of moisture to it. So a lot of rusty stuff. What used to be really great parts. But we might play around with this one and see what's salvageable. There's a set of heads down there somewhere. And this is another 2110. Rick and I were playing with it yesterday and we measured this to be 90.5 diameter and 82 stroke. So we do have a genuine 2110 here with some old school speed parts on there, this old Mallory. So someday we might play with a big motor, and this will be the parts that we might be able to use to do that. Mainly what we're doing is picking up engine cores for Hard Times engine building. So stock dual ports and stock single ports. We did come across a fuel injection engine. Something I know nothing about, but I'm curious. This one looks like it had air conditioning at one point. Hey, Lance.
Morning.
So we're going to go ahead and move a few more engines out to the trailer. We have a dual port here and a single port here and another single port over here. We may put this one on its back too. I don't see your face. Just the shot. Screen one black. Yeah, talking about.
What's your better last name? This is riding way better.
called the Twin 6, the
Ready?
GM. Yep. Twin 6. Yeah. It was a 12 cylinder and they put 4 V6 heads on it from the era. And they said that it got 3 to 4 miles a gallon no matter what.
It's got a pump on front of the pump.
Oh. So I'll be underneath the... Oh, I see. I see the line coming out of it. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, one of them's a transmission pump.
Hey folks, we found Rick. I've spent the last day with this gentleman and he is full of awesome stories. Stay tuned, we're gonna cover some of that next. It looks like we have 3 44s.
What about in here?
All DeLordos.
Oh, those are all DeLordos over there.
Yes, sir. So there's that one and the 2 ones, they may be a smaller size, I don't know, but these are DeLordos also.
Well, these things here, the manifold measures 48. Woo. On this thing here. So I don't know if any of these carburetors were for that. Are the carburetors on that tray over there, I wonder?
I'll take a look. Cheers.
And it's your hot cup, too.
Yeah,
garage.
that always cheers me up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to do garage stuff today.
Yeah.
I'm using my Haptic Garage Cup.
Here's the one flywheel. That's the problem. I'm not sure that flywheel's any good
An
anymore.
old CDI ignition.
It's evidently the one that twisted off and was the problem with this motor originally. And this was probably the replacement. It was set up there and got rusty. Sitting around. But no broken off studs in or anything. I'm guessing it could be cleaned up and maybe resurfaced a little bit. You could put this on your lathe and
Right. And I'll just spin it on the lathe and put a piece of sandpaper up to it.
yeah,
Yeah. Just by hand.
do it.
Get crafty. This one may be cracked. That's a weird place for a crack though. Like right down the middle. You'd expect it to go between the holes, right?
They'll go in the middle though, between the seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if one of these heads is good, and then the one good head over there. Yes, sir. That could be the carbon.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. It's cracking from the spark plug
Like right down the middle.
down the middle.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it'll crack between the seats. It's headed for one of the seats. You get that there where it says Clyde Berg? This thing had a pair of Berg heads on it. Kind of special if Clyde did them. He's Gene Berg's son. Nice guy, too.
Oh no, it's shims. Cylinder shims.
Yeah, you have to put some JB Weld on this.
There you go. Some bubble gum. This one too. I didn't notice any cracks on this one. But chances are, if they got all that special attention, neither one of these heads is going to match either one of those on the other engine. Like to make a set. Yeah, like
Yeah.
one of these and one of those. Like a good
Oh
one of
yeah,
these
oh
and
yeah,
one of
yeah, you
those.
don't want to do that. Now these have got some big intake valves. Oh, this is bearing. Did you see that?
Oh, I didn't see that it was bearings. I saw the shims. These rockers are pretty serious looking.
Uh-huh.
So these would be rod bearings, I think. Here. Rod bearings.
Or we could just take them out of this box. Put them in a plastic bag or something. Now, you know what? This thing if I'm not mistaken, this thing had Chevy crank or Chevy journals and rods.
I think that's
so
what
that
that
might
label.
be. So I wonder if these might be Chevy bearings. Question mark. I got a bunch of bearings over here.
Yeah, let's see what we have.
Somewhere. There's a used cylinder set. That's pretty good. Pieces of carburetor.
Look like. Get it.
Wiper blades goes with main bearings, doesn't it?
I see it. Always goes to that magical place underneath the workbench.
Oh yeah. You didn't happen to see a heater control knob down there, did you?
I'll go look again.
When I was first working on the bugs, somehow or another, I lost a heater control knob off of an old style, you know, the ones on the turn, you know, you twisted the knob and all that stuff. And it was, we had it out of there, and I lost it. I mean, I knew right where I lost it and everything. But you know, it was like this. There was junk along both sides and everything. And I'm not kidding you. I looked for that every time I got in that bay. You know, I'd be moving things around and everything. You know, and it got to be a joke. I mean, Linda and I joked about, you know, yeah, but what about the heater control knob? You know, did you find it under the couch or what? You know, I mean, I entered everywhere with that thing. I never did ever find it. It's like it just disappeared. You know, just crazy.
Someone's going to stumble upon it and go, well, what is that?
A lot of these bearings, I used them like when I was checking out blocks and stuff. Yeah, see, that's 30 outside. 30 outside, but without a flange cut, I think. And I could use that as a go, no go sort of a thing, you know, just to see if the block was cut, how far it was, if it got in there, and, you know, well, probably not going to rattle if it's 30 over. But anyway, I used these. I have them marked, I think, you know, so what they were, or that, or they're marked on the edges or something. But anyway, these were. I didn't use them as bearings. I used them as
gauges. Gauge bearings.
And same with the inside stuff. It was quicker than using a mic. And all that stuff, you know.
Oh yeah. I think I see bearing boxes in that bin, the red one over there.
I know to look in this world over here for bearings.
There you go.
That's kind of how a lot of my stuff's organized. You know, I know there's carburetors over here somewhere, and there's rods over here somewhere, you know, and there's some electrical stuff here, plumbing stuff right there.
Relatable.
Yeah, so I know what part of the shop to look in anyway, you know. Yeah, this is the gasket department along in here. Gaskets and seals. This goes in the
electrical department?
Yeah, this goes in the tail light, parking light, clearance lights, whatever. Now it looks like the ones on top have got something in them.
I found the lid department.
Gets sweaty pretty quickly out here.
I was telling Lance earlier that I was freshly showered and had clean clothes on for about 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. Boy, it doesn't take any time out here, does it?
No. You don't even have to be moving around, really.
No.
This is a mixture of new and old.
The bearings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding some used bearings here and some new rod bearings. This is a tool. This is a tool.
Yeah. It's for taking the pressure relief valve out.
There it is.
Did you recognize that?
I would have guessed like a pilot bearing, but I knew it was a tool.
Yeah.
I said as much as I knew.
I'm pretty sure that we've used that to take the
Yeah.
pressure relief valves out.
There's another one.
I think.
Yeah.
Or it may have been
Looks right.
something to help hold the chair together, right?
In a former life, yes. Set of new lifters that I'll be repacking. Those are coated. Are those coated lifters?
It looks like it, yeah. Like a kind of heat treat or something on, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're new. They're in better shape than the box. Put this back in here so that the next person who grabs it will also have to repack it. Look at this, there's some clear space.
Ah!
Quick, put something there.
Now there's a clamp department here somewhere. and a glove department.
That's the percussion department. Somebody moved the clamp department. Let go of part of its exhaust valve. Then the banjo music started playing. What you doing, Lance?
Digging.
I might have gotten a little carried away, but I like to have options when we're doing things like the Hard Times engine build. So we bought a bunch of engine cores. We actually got a couple of engines that are high performance 2110s. Everything needs work and needs to be rebuilt and all that stuff, but this is gonna be a lot of fun. Still need to finish the dolly for this Bridgeport. This is gonna be invaluable, I predict. Another thing I wanna do is just go around all the parts, even before making a real evaluation, and get them protected from rust. I'm gonna get some grease, some oil, some WD-40, something on everything that might deteriorate while it's waiting for a chance to be used. Here's one of those cases that was clearanced for an 82mm crankshaft. You can see evidence of that up here and here on the case stud. So this is a high value case to me, and I don't think it needs line boring, so this is really great. This is going to be a lot of fun to play with when we get to it. These lifters are kind of stuck. I don't think it's going to be too hard to get them out of there, but definitely needs to be cleaned up. These heads are especially exciting. Needs to be cleaned up, but really cool to have something like this in the shop. This is a special piece of hardware right here. There's probably some things to be learned about how Mr. Berg shaped all of this. This is a late case. This one is an early case, and so is this one. Don't know if any of it's usable, but sure do enjoy the discovery process. This one is an early case, non-doghouse shroud. This is a later AE case. Has an alternator on it, that's of interest. It's a dual port and has a doghouse shroud. We'll have some good parts here, even if the internals on the engine are shot. Another late model case, dual port, doghouse shroud, and this one has a progressive Weber on it. I've never played with one of those. And another alternator, so some good parts between those two engines. All of these back here, here's actually a Type 4. There's another Type 4 in the mix. They were kind of in the rain. And so these are just for funsies. We're not expecting much to come of these engines. Actually, one is a Type 3 with dual bore heads. Not sure there's going to be much useful on that one, but it'll be fun to take a look. We have another early case. Small oil galleys is an easy way to see that. And underneath it, way back there, is another Type 4 case that actually has a chunk missing out of it. So probably not of any usefulness, but we threw it on the trailer anyway. This is actually a fuel injected engine, dual port late case. Doghouse shroud would have gone on this, and we'll see what we can do. I'm curious about fuel injection, but if nothing else, we have another possible set of good parts here. Another doghouse, late model dual port, and another one here. So what I've learned with engine cores is you just can't get your hopes up. Chances are that it's pretty much shot. Just the discovery process of cracking these open is a lot of fun, and I can't wait to share all that with you. For now though, I need to empty this trailer because we're about to go on another run. So we're gonna see what we can do to break these down. Maybe pull some studs out to make these short blocks smaller and pull exhaust off. Like, this is not going to be useful, so might as well pull off the rusted out exhausts on most of these engines, if not all of them. Get rid of it, get it out of the way, just try to whittle things down in broad strokes to a smaller amount of material to store. I think what happens when a parts stash really grows exponentially, that the person accumulating them gets a little bit overwhelmed, and then we start lowering the bar on storage methods, and unfortunately things start ending up outside, and I don't want to do that with engine parts. So I want to find a place elsewhere for them, or find a place safe for them. And I think processing a little bit of this to make things a little bit smaller, kind of get an idea on what I have, is going to be better in the long run, so I don't end up with a situation where stuff is just sitting outside wasting away. We got everything inside, but we're about to make the whole situation worse because we're going again. This is a trip we're going to make in the RV, pulling a little 5x10 trailer, and see if we can pick up some more treasures for the projects we're working on and some pretty neat future projects. I'm gathering some odds and ends from this expansive parts stash. And right now the goal is to put together a few sets of cooling tins, all the way down to the details. Of course, we like this OEM stuff and fixing it up, then dealing with the aftermarket stuff. Also hope to make a deal on a spare set of Weber 40 IDFs. Wouldn't be a bad idea to have some spares ready to go. I think this set has been epoxied before. I've seen that on Quadrajets, so apparently that's a thing on Webers also. Probably pretty widespread across all kinds of carbs now that I think about it. There's plenty of breastplate tins to search through, so I'll easily be able to find a few sets that suit me. Plenty of sled tins to choose from as well. It's kind of funny, I found mainly the long side, the driver's side. Did not find as many on the passenger side, but that's still plenty to choose from there. Here's where things get a little bit crazy. Dweezil's front clip was a smashed up mess. It was so bad that just putting a Baja kit on the front of it would not have fixed everything that was all wrinkled up. So what I opted to do was find an entire front clip. I found one from a 69 Bug that was close enough to Dweezil, which is a 68. Bought it and grafted it onto the front of the car. Well, when I purchased that clip, it came with a front beam and the tunnel all the way back to the rear of the front seats, just beyond where the parking brake is. And I've just hung on to it because I thought, okay, there's not really a market for this, so I don't know that anybody else needs it, and I think it's going to be something cool someday. Fast forward to today, we've found the rear torsion housing from a 74 Beetle, so this is of course going to be IRS. It has the trailing arms. They look like they're intact enough. There's definitely some rust here. Enough of the tunnel is there that these two could be grafted together. So the front tunnel from a 69 and this rear torsion housing from a 74 can be brought together to a shortened chassis. I've always been a fan of metal cars, and the first buggy was actually metal. It's called an Skimpy Sportster. They're super cool, and it looks like it's within my 10 building skills. So that's our extra special project today, is to start gathering parts for an Skimpy Sportster build. And I want to do it totally on the cheap, stuff like this, right? And just scrounge what I can to put this thing together. May even go with scrap metal for fabricating all the fenders and all that stuff. And we're gonna call it Skimpy. So let's get started. Thanks to my buddy Lance, we have the rear end all loaded up. The drums are seized. It's been outside for a while, but I think there's some good bones here to do a pretty neat project for an Skimpy Sportster. I've done some digging and put together a bunch of original cooling tin here. That's mainly what I have. Hoping to make a deal on some carbs. There's a couple of progressives here and some Weber 40s, and then a couple of gas tank options for the Skimpy. Here's an IRS transaxle. Would like to grab 2 of these to double my chances of having a good one, and found 4 axles to go with. So here it is, folks. This is the beginnings of Skimpy. We did pick up a couple of late model IRS transaxles, hoping that at least one of them is in good shape. Have 3 sets of axles to choose from, so maybe we'll find 4 good CV joints out of all of those. Those are kind of fun to clean up and play around with. Not sure if I'm going to go with the classic spun aluminum tank or what the design actually calls for, and that's an early-ish Beetle tank under hood fill there. That'll fit the bill too, and since it goes in the truck bed part, this becomes part of the truck bed itself, right? So this probably works better as the original design intended anyway. I just went ahead and picked this thing up because it's awesome. Has some varnish in it, so we'll put some marine clean in there and let it soak for a while. So we got a great start on our Skimpy project and got to spend some time with good friends, the Higgins family and my buddy Lance and his son Carson. Thanks to all of you for making this happen. We have some great things to work on in the future. Next week, I have a special video for you featuring the Mosey home, which is the unsung hero of the Haptic Garage channel. It takes us to all these cool places we've been going and gives us a place to stay while we're there. Maintaining and driving this thing is an experience all its own, so be sure to tune in next week. Until then, keep the project alive and drive the dream. We'll see you then.